Good morning, everyone. It's January 6, 2019. I'm Eric. So, Trump supporters would like to believe that they supported a candidate of freedom, of liberty, of honesty, of respect for the American people. However, very, very far from what is the truth. Trump did a press conference recently where a woman named April, a journalist, supposedly, asked him about eminent domain. This is a candidate that's supposed to be for freedom for the American people, yet he supports things like eminent domain, civil asset forfeiture, among other authoritarian policies. Now, a lot of you like to believe that you own the land that you paid so much money for. However, if the government can come in and take from you your possessions, they're not yours. That land is not yours. And Donald Trump, in this press conference, this clip I'm about to show you, does everything possible to justify the theft of property from the American people, saying things like, we give them good deals. Bullshit. Bullshit. You pay less than market value for those properties. Let's get started.
As far as eminent domain, you're right, 100%. Eminent domain is very interesting. But without eminent domain, you wouldn't have any highways, you wouldn't have any schools, you wouldn't have any roadways. What we're doing with eminent domain is, in many cases, we'll make a deal up front, and we've already done that. The Secretary has done a lot of that. And if we can't make a deal, we take the land and we pay them through a court process, which goes actually fairly quickly. And we're generous.
They take the land, and then they go through the process. He'd like you to believe that without stealing other people's property, things like roads and pipelines and the wall would not get built.
But we take the land. Otherwise, you could never build anything. If you didn't use eminent domain, you wouldn't have one highway in this country. You have to use eminent domain. It's actually something you don't want to use it, but if you're going to do a stretch, as an example of pipelines and other things that go, you have to use eminent domain, otherwise you'd never be able to buy the land. If we had one person that wouldn't sell us out of hundreds, just one, it only takes one, then we wouldn't be able to build proper border security because we'd have that big opening that I was talking about. So what happens is...
So, if you don't want to sell your property, they then force you. They force you. And if you don't comply, guess what happens? Your favorite heroes, your law enforcement apparatus will come to your property and drag you off. And if you resist hard enough, they will fucking kill you. But Donald Trump, he is the candidate of freedom and liberty for the American people, right? Right? But here's the thing, is you're not going to hear supporters of Donald Trump talking about this. They will do the very same thing the Obama supporters did. Ignore the evils committed by their selection.
Some are paid up front. You make a deal up front, and we're willing to do that in all cases. And when they're unwilling to make a deal, which also happens, then you go to court. But in the meantime, we're able to build the border security. So I think it's a fair process. I think it's a process that's very necessary, but I think it's fair.
Couldn't that
necessary, like civil asset forfeiture, right?
hold up your wall?
No, it's not going to hold it up because under the military version of eminent domain and under actually Homeland Security, we can do it before we even start. Now,
See how the legislation is always written in the favor of the politician. They wrote the legislation, you know, it makes it perfectly legal for them to steal from you. Just like lying to you is perfectly legal. But if you lie to them, you're a felon.
a lot of times we'll make a deal. And I would say a good percentage of the time we're making deals. We have already purchased a lot of it. You know, a lot of the money that we've been given has already been spent on purchasing the land, the right-of-way. It's essentially a right-of-way. So we are very, very far along on that. But eminent domain is something that has to be used. Usually you would say for anything that's long, like a road, like a pipeline, or like a wall or a fence. Okay? Thank you. Good question.
So, you know, you keep thinking that this dude is about your freedom, about your liberty. It just goes to show how fucking stupid you really are. And there's a dude that commented, "Violence is necessary," in my comment section regarding a video I did a couple weeks ago, where I went over an article that said that FEMA had plans to test the waters, so to speak, going to people's doors. He said that I should admit that I was wrong. I don't know if I was wrong or not. And besides that, it was not my article, it was somebody else's. I merely covered it. And even so, even if I had said those things, we don't know what happened, do we? None of us were there. It very well could have happened. Just like all these people from the so-called campfire. Where the fuck did all those people go, the refugees? Where are they at? What happened to them? People want to believe that, you know, agencies like FEMA will keep them safe in a disaster. But I think FEMA is killing people off. I think they started with the homeless, and then every time a fucking natural disaster or a major event like a fire happens, they take the refugees and they disappear. So, you know, we don't know what happened to those people, just like we don't know what FEMA did on Christmas. They could have. That article could have been correct. We just don't know. That's one of the problems here is not everyone shares information about what's going on in their neck of the woods, so we don't know what's going on. Anyway, I thought I would share this with you just to show you that Donald Trump is not the freedom candidate you people voted for. He is willing to steal your land through civil asset forfeiture, through eminent domain. He's willing to do a lot of things that's going to hurt you. I mean, look at the soybean farmers now. His decisions have destroyed their industry, their ability to make money growing soybeans. Anyway, hope everyone has a good day. Remember, kill the state before the state comes and steals your fucking land and kills you.